Also on the show, an inside look at the leader in fish finding technology, when Hank takes a behind-the-scenes peek at what goes into the making of such an incredible product. Plus,
and that's all you do, just kind of, that's amazing to me, you know. It's really something. Hey, today we're in Olathe, Kansas at the Garmin Factory. You know, I have learned over the years that a company nor a product are any better than their people. And I'm going to tell you, Garmin has got the greatest product that I've ever used, and now that I meet the people, I know why they have such great product. We're sitting here watching the new assembly of the new Fish Finder 160, which is an incredible unit. And we're seeing how it's made waterproof. I mean, all this is fascinating. So I got Howard here, who has been indoctrinating me on how this assembly process works. So I've asked Howard if he'd be so kind to just through the assembly of the new Fish Finder 160, and you can appreciate why it functions so well and never breaks down because of all this great labor. So Howard, show us what it's all about and how it's made and assembled and the whole 9 yards.
All right, Hank, on our first step, we've got Janelle here. What she's actually doing is putting heat seals and drivers together that are bonded. They're not actually soldered. She shows the vision lineup, and it uses a heat process. It'll bond them together.
And when it bonds that together, does that assure for waterproof, and what is the benefit of the bond?
Well, the bond itself, there's such a fine line for the traces that you couldn't possibly solder that. It's actually a physical heat bond.
Okay, I understand that.
And our second step, we've got Debbie here, who's actually taking the heat seals and drivers that Janelle makes and actually makes them to the glass, and it's also a bonding process. She has a vision lineup that she'll use and everything because it's such a fine tracer. These are 10 power monitors.
So all of this is manufactured right here in Olathe, Kansas.
Sure, absolutely.
And we're watching it happen.
You betcha. These are units in process.
All right.
Okay, here our third process, what we have is Bray. He's taking the LCD itself, and it's being physically soldered to one side of the CPU board. It's a two-step process. He solders one side, the glass will be flipped over, the backlight will be screwed to the CPU board, and it's flipped over one more time and soldered on the front side of the board.
Now, does the backlight actually have power to it?
Down the process, we'll put 3 light bulbs in the back. What that does is lights up the entire back of the screen.
I got you.
Okay, here we've got Crystal. What she's going to do is take our semi-complete unit here, she'll physically turn it on, and she's actually going to test and check for the pixels, we're missing anything.
So that's a report card. You're doing the report card for all these other guys to make sure they did their job.
We're checking it all the way down the line.
That is fascinating.
Move down. Cynthia's actually taking the product here, and she's the one that's physically soldering in the 3 light bulbs for the backlight. We give it a shot of RTV, and from here, what she'll end up doing is she'll take gaskets for the connectors, nuts for the back of it and everything for our bases, and then she'll physically get it put together and stuff. And then we move down here, and she'll put it in a machine here with a robotic arm, and the robotic arm, it's already preset for torque.
Arms.
It's preset for torque and everything, and the robotic arm will physically come in and put all the screws and stuff into the back of it. So now we've got our front and back mated together. It's already screwed together. Should be ready to go up until one point. Now we're going to bring it over here. What we'll physically do is we'll pull a vacuum test on it, check for moisture.
Make sure it's waterproof.
I
like that. They are waterproof. I've had them in all kind of weather, and they're 100% waterproof.
It's a great unit. So from here, what we'll end up doing is we'll put it on an ATE rack. We have a hot and cold chamber we're running through. While it's on the physically testing me on the rack as it goes. So we're checking, cold temperature, got to fish in the winter. Hot, got to fish in the summer.
Would you have ever dreamed that they do all of this just for me where I can catch a fish? Now, would you have ever believed that?